Hey everybody, Alex Miller Academy on here. I want to talk a little bit about the why of data privacy in the context of some happenings in the cryptocurrency world around Litecoin. Now, those of us who have been interested in data privacy for a while, we've all eventually confronted the reality that a lot of these things pass through the affairs of for-profit businesses, and it's really helpful if you want to get people to do what you might think is the right thing to explain a way that it's also the profitable thing for them. And one of the simplest and I think probably in the long run most important answers to this question is that consumers like privacy and they might prefer your product over another product if they thought it had better privacy features. So the cryptocurrency world is interesting in this context. The cryptocurrency world has been very forward about adopting the kind of private computation techniques that my company works on. Two older examples with pretty well developed privacy structures on them are Zcash and Monero. You could probably check those out in more detail if you wanted. And what is the problem we're trying to solve here? So you can go on Twitter and follow this account that will tweet out anytime anybody does a really big Bitcoin transaction. It's called Whale Alert. And so for all this kind of hype about decentralization, there's kind of a bizarro information theoretic way in which cryptocurrencies are very centralized and that all the data is given to everyone. There's just one big ledger that everybody can see. So while the owner of any given Bitcoin is secret beyond what is their public key, what any given public key address does is totally public, totally public. And the goal of these privacy techniques is to make it so that whatever you put on the blockchain to maintain your transactions, to maintain this ledger, is obscured and other people can't see your business. So what's up with Litecoin? Litecoin is notable for being one of the earliest altcoins, you might say. And it was a fairly flagrant ripoff of Bitcoin. So I believe it was created in 2011. And when it was created, it was more or less the Bitcoin code, just copied over and given a new brand. And it stayed relatively close to the changes that are on Bitcoin for quite a long time. What's happened recently is they have decided to adopt a cryptographic protocol called Mimblewimble, which I believe is named after something in Harry Potter. I'm not a Harry Potter guy, but I think that's where this strange word comes from. And this protocol has been around a while. It's pretty famous. It's exactly about obscuring the information about your transactions on the Litecoin blockchain. And I think it's fairly transparent that Litecoin thinks it might get some more attention if it became a privacy coin like Zcash and Monero. And there's other prototypes from this in other spaces, like Signal, for example, has been very successful in getting a little bit of market share from WhatsApp. And WhatsApp, of course, is the product of a huge company. Signal is a not-for-profit foundation. Privacy is the sling that David used to throw a rock at Goliath successfully. And so we'll see how it goes. It's going to be interesting because these privacy techniques are very powerful. And at least in early 2021, there's a little bit of rumbling that regulators didn't like how private they were. This is also a little bit of cheap thrills in that regulators are also generally rumbling about something they're unhappy with about cryptocurrency all the time. And it's very unsure how it's going to shake out. But just an example of what you could call a legacy product that's looking to an advanced privacy technique as a way to differentiate itself in an increasingly crowded marketplace. As a final note, and also kind of a joke, no investment advice here intended. I don't think any sound investment advice about cryptocurrency is possible. And if I were going to attempt to do so, I would have to point out that it seems to be impactful who has the cutest picture of a dog, and it's not all about this highfalutin technical stuff. Just as in any business, there's always more pieces in the puzzle. But just another example of privacy seems to be emerging as an important product differentiator that's going to give you a nice story you can tell people about why you're doing something better than somebody else.